Noninkables.
Hello and welcome back to Noninkables Podcast, Season 3, Episode 2. I'm Q. I did get a note that I should mention my name so that when people write me, they actually know my name. So I am Q. Our team, a little intro for those of us who are new. Our team is me, Q, Brian, also known as Briguy, and then Tyler, who is Botsu. So this past weekend, we went to DLC Richmond, and it was super, super fun, both to play and to meet people. And let's recap it because there's so much to talk about. Okay, so we left Thursday, and it was like a full day of travel because we lost time since we went to the East Coast. We had a layover in Newark, and we almost missed our flight. Because we're like, oh, they just started boarding. We have time. I didn't realize that it was like a super, super small plane, so it boarded in like 5 minutes. And then luckily Brian was like checking and was like, I think we need to go. So we went to the gate, and I think we were maybe the last ones on. And because it was a super small plane, your roller bag doesn't go above the seat. It goes like there's like a little section, kind of like when you take a shuttle where all the bags go. Which the flight attendant did try to say to me, and I totally didn't understand her, so I still tried to shove my roller bag into the top, and it didn't fit. So that was embarrassing, but whatever. And then they were like, no, it goes over there, and I was like, oh, got it. Other than that, it was pretty uneventful, easy flight. United, so we flew United, and they did send us an email prior to our first flight, which was like the longer one from SFO to Newark, saying like, hey, you're going to have super fast internet on your flight. And we, in fact, did not have super fast internet. We didn't even really have internet. It was super, super slow. And then the flight that was like an hour from Newark to Richmond had super fast internet, which was crazy. And then, let's see, we stayed at the Marriott, which was really nice. We were on a floor where I think a lot of the other rooms had just had their carpets cleaned. And so they were empty. So it was like super quiet on our floor, which was really nice. And then we got hot pot, obviously, because we always do. We had hot pot at Hot Pot 757, I think is what it's called. It's like an all-you-can-eat KBBQ and hot pot. I mean, I think it was a fair hot pot. They had a lot of varieties, so a lot of like the more niche Asian foods, like frog legs and pork blood and tripe and that kind of stuff. So that was the first day. The second day was Friday. We went and picked up our badges in the morning. It wasn't a super long line. I think that part went a lot better. We got our promos. They gave out like a Pluto promo for checking in early. Let me see if I even have it. It was the same one that you could get at Gen Con. So I think we already have like 20 of them, like some crazy amount. Like I didn't even put it with the rest of the cool promos we got because I was like, I don't care about this promo, which seems kind of douchey to say, but we literally have so many of them from Gen Con. And it's not very playable. So, we got our promos. And then, so Tyler had bought his Friday ticket, like the side event ticket, with his wife's account. So it was logged in under her. It was like registered under her email, even though he changed the email address on the Eventbrite like right after. So then he had to go and get that fixed. And then slightly later realized that he had accidentally, instead of buying a ticket for the, what is it called? The 12 p.m. pre-game promo quest core constructed. Yeah, a little mouthful. Instead of buying tickets for the big event, he accidentally signed up for the 2 p.m. core constructed, which is just 3 rounds. So oopsies on that part. So he did not play in the, I'm going to say the name again, in the pre-game promo quest core constructed, which was 7 rounds. He played in the regular core constructed and did really well. I don't remember what list he ran for that. Maybe dogs. So Brian and I played in the long one. I played dogs and Brian played purple steel. I think I went 4-3 and he went 3-4. Let me see if I have those matches. I'm sure I wrote them down. Is this it? Yes. Okay. So first round of that one, I had the best Daisy Ducks in the history of the world. Okay, so I mashed into Blurple. I lost the die roll. Surprise, surprise. So I was on the draw. And I was able to play, I think, 2 daisies at some point. So my daisies put to the bottom, 3 into the unknowns, 1 book, 1 sail, and then he got like 1 Elsa towards the end. So it didn't really matter. And then I ended up going to win. It was 20-14. And seriously, I was like, these are the best daisies I've ever had. The fact they put so many things into the bottom. Second game, I was on the draw, and my daisies put to the bottom a sail, a book, and an Into the Unknown. And that one I won. It was like even easier than the first one. It was 20-7, which was pretty good. Round 2, I played against, I didn't even write it. I just wrote round 2. Oh, it was a mirror. Because first one I was on the draw, and he entered the seed first. And then second one I was on the play, and I don't think either of us saw Under the Sea, but he was able to quest faster than me. So that was round 2. Round 3, I played against, let me see. I played against Jake, who was on maybe Purple Steel, I think. Let me see. No, because that's who I played against. I didn't write it down, but I lost the die roll. And the first game I did misplay, so I quested thinking that I already played Emerald Chromacon, but I hadn't. So then they got a lot of free trades. And then the second game I was on the play, and I was at 19, and to win I had to either draw a Tramp, a Webby, a Go-Go, or a Shift Lady. And I drew none of those things. I think I drew a Delamoon, and that drew me a Go-Go, but then I didn't have enough ink. So it was very, very close and very unfortunate on my part. In the fourth round, I played against Green Blue, and it was quite easy. I was on the draw both games, and I won both games. I can't remember, but I feel like maybe I may have under-the-seed him in one of these games and like gotten rid of 2 Cinderellas or something. Fifth round, I played against... I wrote Green Blue, huh? Okay, I guess it was Green Blue then. I was on the play the first game, and I won. I was able to tramp I was at 14, he was at 18. I was able to tramp a character and then go it. The second game I was on the draw, lost. It was close-ish, 12-20. And then third game I was on the play, and I won. Green Blue is pretty good for dogs. And then sixth round, I played against Amber Steel Aggro, which is interesting because I hadn't practiced that matchup at all, and I hadn't seen any playing it. It was kind of like a homebrew. The first game I was on the play, and he got to 18, and I was about to wipe his board, but then he played a Pete, which really ruined my Under the Sea plans. Second game, I was on the play and won. Third game, I was on the draw, and one of his daisies put an Under the Sea into the bottom of my deck, and then I just needed to sing Under the Sea and I would be fine. And then when I checked afterwards, my other Under the Sea was already the last card in my deck. So kind of bad luck at that time. And then round 7, Purple Steel, I played against Will. First game, I was on the play and I won 20-0. Second game, I was on the draw and I lost. It was very close. It was 19-20. I shouldn't say that. I got to 19 lore and then I just stayed at 19 lore and didn't get any more lore while he was at 4. And then he proceeded to get all the lore. And then the last game, I was on the play, and I think I won that one. I think that comes out to like the right amount. So that was day 5. And then we ended up getting dinner we tried to go to a dinner place, like a Thai place, but we got there at 9. They were like, we close at 9:30. And I was like, I think they want us to leave. And so we ended up getting dinner at a pizza place. Ordered way too much food because we were all so hungry because we hadn't eaten all day. And I think we got like pasta and pizza and fries, and it was too much. And I took extra food home and then proceeded to not eat it because we just continued to get more food. So that was Friday. And then Saturday was the main event. And okay, so kind of an overview. So the main event is 8 rounds on the first day. And then if you go X2, you can make it to the second day. And then there's 4 more rounds of Swiss on the second day, and then it cuts to top, whatever. I didn't get there. But this time, it did feel like I could have made day 2. Like, I think in Milwaukee, it definitely felt like, oh, day 2 is like so far away, not a reasonable, achievable goal. And then this time I was like, oh, I could have totally made day 2 if 1, I didn't make dumb mistakes, which we will talk about, and 2, I was luckier. So yeah, I was like, I definitely could have made day 2. That was my own fault. Probably needed more preparation and just to use my brain. Okay, so day 2, first round, I paired into Mr. Lucky. He told me his name and I couldn't hear it, and I asked him again and he said just to call him Mr. Lucky. So he was on Green Blue, and I won the die roll, which was a big surprise for me. First game, I think turn 1 I put a lady, a 0-3. he plays the develop. Turn 2, I played a Webby and like a Daisy. He plays a Sail. Inksatipo plays like Night Howlers, or no, plays like another develop or something. But basically, the first game, he's just playing actions and inking actions. So, such as like Night Howler's Rage, blah, 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 all those cards, right? And I'm just playing all my dogs. And then I quest. So I quest 3, and then I quest to 9, and I quest to 13, and then I quest to 17, and then I win. So it's like super fast. Second game, I was on the draw, and like I still won so fast. It like took him a minute to process. So I think also the first game, he may have played some characters, and he was gonna sing. I think he was gonna sing Under the Sea or MMS. The first game he had played a Little Prince Philip, and he was going to 6 ink at the next turn. So obviously, I'm gonna play my Ursula. So prior to that, I think I had played a Mowgli and taken away, I think he had discarded like an MMS or something. And then I saw that he still had an Under the Sea. So then once he played the Prince Philip, I was like, oh, let me play the Ursula, take the Under the Sea so you can't shift and sing. And he was like, oh, it was like really lucky play. And I was like, no, I've literally been holding on to this Mowgli and Ursula from my mulligan to try to find the right time to play it. Whatever. And then second game, I mean, he's still inking like a bunch of actions. He has like Night Howler's Rage in his deck, which I was like, what does this card even do? It gives people Reckless, you draw a card, I think. And like this game was a little bit longer. So it was like 2, and then I quested to 7, then I quested to 9. I think maybe this one I sang. I think I maybe have sang Under the Sea to him, on him, because he had like 2 Cinderellas and a Clarabelle, and I didn't want him to be able to sing Under the Sea. And then I quested to 10, 12, 15. And then on that turn, there was already a Hades that had 2 damage on it from taking out something of mine. And so I drew a Webby, and I had a Go-Go in play and like a card in hand. So I drew a Webby. I Webbied my Go-Go. So my Go-Go now attacks for 3. I ran it into the Hades that already had 2 damage. So now Hades has 5 damage. And then I play another Go-Go to Go-Go for 5. And I go, okay. I Go-Go for 5. I'm at 20. I win. And he's like, no, I have answers. And I was like, that's not how this game works. He's like, no, look at my hand. I have answers. I have like Ben, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I am already at 20. The game is over. And he's still like trying to explain to me what answers he has. And so I just take I had like 2 cards in my hand. I just set them down. And I'm like, it's going to take him a while to process. And he's like, why'd you set those 2 cards in your ink? And I was like, because the game is over. And so I had to he was like, how much strength does Webby give? I was like, Webby gives 1. And it gave it to the Go-Go, which already has 2. So then the Go-Go attacked for 3. And it already had 2 on the Hades. So that's 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. And then I played another Go-Go for 5. Lore. 5 plus 15 is 20. And then after 2 or 3 minutes, he was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, good games. And I was like, okay. Yeah, interesting. It took him so long to get it. And then I was like, oh, if I could have opponents like this all day, that would be great. If I could just smoke them this easily, that would be great. Although this guy ended up making it to top 64. So maybe he wasn't awake when he played me. I don't know. So that was my first round. And I was like, oh, this is so great. It was so easy. And then of course, we always kind of regroup and see how our friends are doing. And then Brian goes, oh, I was like, oh, did you win? He said, yeah. And he said he beat Lucas. And I was like, oh, Wonderland? Because that's the Luke that I know of. And he was like, no, Lucas, something. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. And turns out it is, I should look this. It is a famous person. It's Lucas Complex, I think is his last name. Hold on. Lucas He is top 8 player from Europe. Lucas Kopp. Is that right? Hold on. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so he beats Lucas Koppa, who is top 8 Lorcana player from Worlds or something, which is crazy. And then later, I finished pretty early, right? Because I smoked that guy. And so I was walking around, went to get water, went to the bathroom, and then I see Tyler, and then Tyler's like, oh my gosh, did you know that Brian beat Wonderland? And he was screaming about it, right? And I was like, no, it wasn't Wonderland, it was some other guy. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, it was a Lucas Cop something with a K. And then Tyler lost his mind and was like screaming his brains out. He was so excited. And he was like, yeah, let's go. And then also another one of our friends, Will, had beat Mo Shamblin. So, just our friends cooking these world championship playing people. So it was very, very exciting. And then later in the day, Tyler eventually lost his voice, I think, from all the screaming. But that was first round. Let's see. Second round, I played Chris. None of these notes mean anything to me. What was he on? I think he was on Purple Steel, I want to say. And probably Purple Steel because I lost pretty bad. First game, I won the die roll. First game, I was on the play, and I lost 0-20. Got cooked. Second game, I was on the play, and I'm not sure what I did, but my score, it goes, he has 1 lore, and then I have 7, he has 2, and then I have 16. So I'm sure I just tramped a bunch or something, and then just quested. Third game was much closer. It was on the draw, although not super close because it ended up being like 20-8. Although I do have to say, I don't know if it was nerves or what, but he did try to take a strength from a daisy trigger, which at that point I was like, you can't take that. That goes to the bottom because he got I had 2 daisies out, so he got 1 character and 1 strength. It kind of both put him in his hand, and I went, no, you can't take that. Maybe I should have called the judge so he got a warning. Yeah. And then I realized at the end of this game, because you do something like that, and then after that I get suspicious, and I was like, ooh, did he ink more than once per turn that I didn't pick up, or do something else shady? And I really am not sure. And after that game, I was like, I need to pay way more attention to what they're doing, because I think when you're playing dogs, you're thinking a lot about future turns and stuff. And so I was focused on that, and I should have been focused on exactly what my opponent was doing. Yeah, so a little suspicious of that guy. Third round, I paired into Jeremy, who was on Blurple. I won the die roll, so I won the first game, super easy. Second game, I lost. It was 20-11, or I guess 11-20. And then third game, I was on the play, and I won. I mean, both games were pretty close. It was 20-12. But Blurple is usually an okay matchup. Fourth one, I played against Blue Steel, and this is where I had my brain fart. So first game I won, I was on the die roll. I won the die roll, I went first, I went super aggressive. It was 20-0, right? Second game I was on the draw, and the problem is you're supposed to play Blue Steel like you play against Green Blue for dogs. So which is just quest as much as you can in the beginning, and then just try to go stuff and win at the end. And instead, I played it like Purple Steel, which is wait until you have a Chromacon out, then you quest, right? And he had a Pluto in his deck, and he didn't even see it, so he couldn't get rid of my Chromacon. The one time I did see the Chromacon. And so I totally misplayed that match. So I lost on the draw, and then I lost on the play, which was kind of my own fault. I played that matchup raw because I forgot that Blue Steel is more similar to Green Blue in terms of how I'm supposed to play against it with dogs. But it was learning, and I did learn in the moment, so I played a Blue Steel later that I did win. But I was like, oh, man. My next match, round 5, was against Tina, and I feel very bad because I think she was already very upset from the previous round because she had been given 2 warnings. She said she got a warning because she accidentally knocked over her opponent's card with her ring or something on the top of his deck and got a warning for that. And then she got another warning, I think, for accidentally dropping a card or something. But she was on Purple Steel, which usually is a bad matchup for me. I did win the die roll, but I feel like I won pretty easily. She was playing a slightly different build of Purple Steel that had Helga's in it. So that 0-4 steel card with +4 challenger. So there was a turn where I sang Under the Sea, and I got rid of her Helga, 2 hooks, and a genie, and she also had 2 Calhouns out. And I think because she was so upset, she almost put the Calhouns into the bottom of her deck, and then she was like, wait, is Under the Sea 2 or 3 strength? And I was like, it's 2 strength. Your Calhouns live. Although, had she not asked me that, I probably would just let her do it. That's not good morals on my part, but I think having been made, still feeling suspicious of the person from round 2, I was like, But yeah, anyways, so that was game 1. It was 20-11. Game 2, I was on the draw, and my initial hand was pretty bad. So I had 2 Emerald Chromacons in my hand, but I was able to discard 1 with a Bobby. And then I ended up having 2 Lilos in my discard. And so I had Emma Chromicon out and I just kept recurring Lilos and then questing with everybody else. And so it ended up being like 20-3, which, I mean, I beat Purple Steel, but it wasn't like super hard. And then my next round, round 6, I played against Dick, who is on Green Purple Burn. And that is like a free matchup for dogs because we quest so much faster. And their deck just gives us cards so we can quest even faster. So I won the die roll, won that game, was on the draw, won that game. And next to me was like the exact same matchup happening, dogs versus Green Purple Burn. And then round 7, I played against Clay. Let's see, what was Clay playing? I was on the draw both games and I won, but I don't know what deck he played. I don't know. I didn't write it down. I'm going to guess probably like green, blue, or blurple. So that was 7. And then my 8th round, which was winning in, was against John. And I won the die roll. And the first game, I didn't have a big tramp. And he tramped twice and didn't sing Under the Sea. And then I saw it first, so then I won. Second game, I was on the draw. And he saw Under the Sea, quested, he won. Third game, I was on the play. And I tramped, I think, twice. I tramped once, and then I was like kind of upset about this because I thought I played it wrong. But I tramped once, didn't find Under the Sea, could keep 2 cards. I kept 2 tramps to keep looking. I did have the option to keep a Bobby. And I thought, like, for the rest of the day, and then the next morning I woke up, I was still thinking about this. I was like, maybe I should have kept the tramp and the Bobby, ink the tramp, play the Bobby. But Tyler did point out, even if I played the Bobby, I would have to discard what card I drew because I checked my deck and the next card was Under the Sea. So I was 1 away. And so he won. And he ended up being like 20-something, like placed 20 at 21 or something like that, or 28. And I feel like the dog mirror is really just whoever finds Under the Sea. So I can't even be mad. But because of that, I was like, okay, so I lost 1 round because I misplayed and didn't play against Blue Steel properly. I lost another round because I just had not as good luck as my mirror. And then my other loss was to Purple Steel, which is like literally the hardest matchup for me. And so like maybe I feel like there's a much higher possibility that maybe I could have made it to day 2, which is like a new consideration for me. Because now, before I was like, oh, I just want to like do okay, like literally no goals. Or I'd be like, oh, I want to make day 2. But it was kind of like oh, I want to make day 2, even though I'm probably not going to make day 2. But now I really feel like I could make day 2. So yeah, that's exciting, I guess. We'll see if that happens. Okay. And then, so that was Saturday. I went 5-3. I think Tyler also went 5-3. He did play a game on stream against Sailor, who is on Green Blue, if you want to check that out. Brian ended up going 3-3 and then dropping. So he won against arguably one of the top players in the world. And then I think did worse after that. And Brian was playing red purple, which literally he has no reps on. So he beat one of the top players in the world on a deck that he had not practiced at all. Maybe he had practiced, I don't know, like once or twice on ink table or something. But literally I was like, wow, not only did you beat one of the top players, you did it on a deck you don't even know how to play. Wow. So I feel like now Brian and I definitely have the skill to make day 2. I just need to focus more. And maybe he needs to pick a deck that he has actually played before. But yeah. And I think Tyler ended up getting kind of unlucky in his matchups or in his like card draw, whatever. Oh, also, okay. So this is the other thing. So Friday night, we're going to dinner, right? As we're going to dinner, Diego is telling Tyler about his new dogs deck. And like literally he's walking down the street and he's yelling like 3C something Tiana something whatever, right? And I was like, I don't even know what that means. But he did send us the list, and then like Tyler and I ran that list because it's supposed to be tailored a little bit better against Purple Steel. So we ran that list like after dinner against Tyler running Purple Steel, me running dogs with the Tiana and then the Mickey Mouse Amber Champion. And like if the Purple Steel player gets Lexington, like that just it's a tough matchup. And like I was like, I don't know about this deck. And so we go to bed. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, and like we had already changed both of our decks to the new one because I was like, okay, I trust Diego. It's probably the best. We'll just change our decks over. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I can't do it. So morning of Saturday, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't play the new deck. I realize I understand the concept of how it could be better against purple steel, but I know when I play it, it's not going to be better. I'm going to brick. I'm going to not be able to ink. It's going to be horrible. I'm going back to the original, which I've practiced. And then Tyler stuck with that deck. So technically, Tyler was playing also a deck that he had never really practiced. Because like we played open hand the night before. We ran like 4 or 5 games of that deck against purple steel. But like he was on the purple, he was technically on the purple steel side. So he technically didn't run the amber steel part. So him going 4-3 on a totally, I would say totally new deck is pretty good, because once you add in the Tiana and the Mickey Mouse Amber Champion, it changes like the whole way you play the dogs deck. Like it's a different deck. And so I like to say that I'm as good as Tyler if he plays a brand new deck, new play style that he's never played before. We are the same. So none of us made day 2, which is fine. And then after that, we ended up getting like team dinner at the restaurant, and it was pretty good, like surprisingly good. We thought it was just gonna be like so-so because like a restaurant, like a hotel restaurant, but it was actually pretty good. We got short rib, and they had this thing called like pork chop with belly, and it looked to me like just a long piece of pork. It was very good though. And then Sunday, Tyler had signed up to play Infinity. Brian and I hadn't signed up for anything. And we had been talking about playing Super Sealed all day. And like at dinner, I was like looking at it. I was like, oh, there's still tickets. I forgot to buy tickets because I got distracted by the food. And then we checked after dinner and there were no more tickets. But Sunday morning, I went and checked, and it happened to be like right at the time I think they were dropping the people who had day 2'd from Super Sealed. And so I was able to get me and Brian a ticket. And then Tyler had wanted to play too. He was like, oh, if I can get a ticket, I'll just drop out of Infinity. But we like missed it by like, he missed it. I think I got a ticket pretty easily. And then I like woke up Brian to get him to ask if he wanted a ticket. And like in that time, I had put one in my cart, like on my other Eventbrite account. And he was like, oh, they're already sold out. And I was like, oh, good thing I have this one in my cart for another 5 minutes. Let me buy that one. So I think like we just barely hit the timing. So Tyler ended up playing in Infinity, and I think he went 5, either 6-1 or 5-2 or 5-1-1. I'm not sure what he ended up doing. And then Brian and I played in the Super Sealed, which a bunch of our friends were playing in, and it was so much fun. Super Sealed is so exciting. So you start off, they give you 4 packs from the last 4 sets. So we got 4 packs of Arcasia's Island, 4 packs of Reign of Jafar, 4 packs of, what's after that? 9, set 9, Fabled, and 4 packs of Whispers in the Wild. Brian and I managed to both pull Enchanteds, crazy. So Brian ended up pulling the Mirabelle from his deck, this one. And then I ended up pulling a Cruella from one of my packs, this one. So already a great start to Super Sealed. So then you make a 40 card deck with the cards you have, and you are limited to 3 ink colors. So I think in general, most people picked purple because purple has all the draw. And then a lot of people picked either red or steel because it has the removal, and then like your 3rd color. So I think I ended up going green, purple, steel. And then Brian ended up going red, purple, steel. I really wanted to play red, but the only good red card I got was the 1-cost Tinkerbell. That's a 3-1. The other ones of my red cards were like card soldiers, like not great stuff. And then you get like, I think 60 minutes to build your deck. It's super fun with the restrictions. And I feel like almost everybody had those kind of colors. My first opponent was Brandon. He played yellow, blue, green, which is interesting, not purple or steel or red. And the first game I won pretty easily. So it was 20-3. I was able to sing Mob Song, which is something that I was like a little unsure of whether I wanted to play in the deck, but I was like, no, this would, if I could get this to work, it would like wreck them. And I was like trying to do math. I was like, okay, if I play a 1-drop on 1, a 2-drop on 2, a 3-drop on 3, and then a 4-drop on 4, then I can sing it on turn 5. But I ended up singing it when I got to like higher ink and I had like 2 5-cost characters. They sang it together, and it really did wreck them. Second game, I was on the draw, and it was pretty close. It ended up being like 20-16, and I lost. And then the third game, we started with like maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes left. I have to say, Brandon did play kind of slowly. Like, he was thinking through his turns like he was playing the main event. Like, real slowly, real serious, doing lots of math. So we did end up going to turns. At turns, I'm at 13 lore. He is at 3 lore. I have like a bunch of stuff on board. I have like lethal on board, right? And he definitely does not because his deck doesn't quest as fast. The next turn I go to 16. He takes out... Okay, so I'm at 13. He's at 3. I think I go to 16. I have lethal, a little bit more than lethal on board. He takes out just enough stuff so that I don't have lethal anymore. He quests to 4. Next one, I put out more stuff. I'm at lethal again. And he takes out just enough stuff so that I can't win. And so then we had to draw. And I was like, dang, so serious. Oh, that's not even the only thing. And then, so then we had to find like a judge to split our tickets to give us change. And the tickets were like, you get 1,000 tickets if you win and 400 if you lose. So if we draw, you get like 300 more tickets. Okay, so prior to that, he had threatened to call a judge on me. So there was one, I think this was maybe the second game. I went to go, it's like turn 2. I went to go ink an Enchantress. And then like while I'm inking the Enchantress, I'm like, actually, I go to ink the Enchantress, I'm going to play a Flotsam. And then while I'm doing that, I'm like, actually, I don't want to play, I want to ink the Flotsam and play the Enchantress. Can I switch it? And he was like, yeah, sure. Then later, there was another turn where I played like a 4/4 Mufasa, and then I play an Olaf. And then I realized, oh man, if I play this Olaf, it's going to die because he has a Cheshire Cat, right? So he's move damage, kill my Olaf. And I go, can I just unplay the Olaf? And he was like, if you do that, I'm going to call a judge on you. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll just play the Olaf, whatever. It'll die. Okay. So serious. So maybe I was kind of annoyed because of that. I was like, why are we being so serious? This is like a side event. This is not the main event, but whatever. Okay. But maybe I need to be more serious. I don't know. I was talking to people about this afterwards. I was like, maybe I need to take things more seriously, but I feel like it's not the main event. So like, who cares? It's just for tickets, whatever. Maybe other people care more about the tickets than I do. Anyways, that kind of made round 1 not fun. I did get to complain about it to all my friends, which I guess was kind of nice, being able to complain about it and being validated that no, I wasn't, maybe he was being too serious and it's a side event, but okay, you're going to call a judge on me, whatever. So I was like, as long as my next matches aren't that serious, it'll be fine. Okay, round 2, I played against Chris. I won the die roll. I win the first game pretty easily. It's like 20-5. Second game, it's very, very close. I'm on the draw. It's like, I think I got to like 15. He was at 10, and then he just was able to do stuff and then went to 20, like 15-20, and I got no more lore. Third game, I go first, where you have like almost no time. It looks like I'm going to win. Okay, we go into turns, right? I'm at 18. He is at 8. And then he goes like 11, 13. And then I'm at 19. He's at 16. I literally just have to get something to live. And oh no, this wasn't the game. Sorry, the second game was the game. So the second game, it looked like I was going to win because I was at 15. He was at 10, right? And then he ended up playing this Little John that could quest multiple times in a game. And so he does that. So he has like a Thunderbolt to take out my thing that was gonna, I think I had like, I wanted like a Ursula Vanessa or something. And he was like able to take out enough of my stuff and then just quest twice with his Prince John and win. And then the last game ended up being 19-20. Was so close. He won. Not even mad. I was like, no, that's so cool that you have that card in your deck. Third round, I played against another Brandon who was playing, he had an Amethyst Sapphire Steel deck. First game I was on the play and I won, but it was very close because he got a bunch of lore early and then I think it was 8-9 and then it was 10-18. So you quested a bunch and then somehow I got to 20. I think I had more stuff on board maybe. Second game, I was on the draw and I ended up winning. It was 20-9. And then my last round was with Anna. She was playing Amethyst Blue Steel and she had like the best cards. Okay, so a bunch of these people had the Minnie Mouse Amethyst Champion, which whenever one of your purple cards gets banished, they get a draw card. Banished in a challenge, I should say. And Anna also had Gwyne, the dragon that lets you exert. So normally if you know that like Minnie Mouse is out, you don't exert your characters because you don't want them to like just run stuff in so they can draw cards. But because she had Gwyne, I couldn't even like avoid that. She also had in her deck Hades, the blue one, and Belle to move damage. First game I was on the draw and I lost. It was like 10 to 20. Second game I was on the play and I still lost. It was 5 to 20. I just couldn't do anything against her deck. Yeah. So I would say, so I ended up going 1-1, but like, except for the first round, all my rounds were very fun to play. And that Minnie Mouse card is great in this format. Brian had the Queen of Hearts that like every time you challenge, you get to draw a card. Very good. I had a Woodchuck Journal. Very good when I saw it. One of my opponents had a Shift Tinkerbell, like Tinkerbell plus the Shift, which was pretty good. That Little John, obviously, killer in this format. And then like evasives and stuff are always good. So it was super fun. And I feel like it's the only way some cards get played. So I'm trying to figure out how we can like organize maybe a little local thing where we play Super Sealed. I do have some set 8 cards, like unopened boxes that I can use for that. And then we just need to get the other ones. I'm trying to coordinate with Judy to see if we can like do this because I found it super fun. And where else are you going to play Super Sealed? It's not something that I feel like game stores usually run. And so I think if we go to more DLCs, this will probably be this side event that I want to play because it's so fun. And you could always open an Enchanted like me and Brian. So that was Sunday. We met so many cool people. Thank you to everybody who came and said hi. And also I got to sign 3 mats. So I feel very celebrity status. Although afterwards on the plane, I did work on a new signature because I was just writing the letter Q. But now I have a cool new signature that is a hexagon Q. So if you see me again, let me sign your mat with my new signature. And what else? Okay, now the DLC is over. I have more time to work on mats. Oh, before that, I did bring my camera, my little Instamax camera. I didn't bring extra film because I'm a dummy. So I got pictures of some people and then the other people I had to like take pictures and then right after. I was also kind of nervous, I feel like day 1 and 2 about asking people for pictures, like a little bit shy. And so I didn't ask everybody for pictures, but I did get some. And oh my gosh, as I threw it on the ground, I did start with local or like people I knew really well. So like I have Enchanted Kim and I have Sierra Lord Illumina. I have Wally from our locals. And I'm just having people write like their real name and then their like online name and then some more locals. Daniel Q, who made day 2, and he puts so much time. So good for him. We have Josh from Loda to differentiate from picks the other Joshes, like this Josh, who I played, who was playing that really cool Amber Steel aggro deck. And then also this Josh, which is Shadex, who is one of the Canadian agents, because I got all the Canadian agents confused. And then I have Irvin, who's part Blazon Agent, who's part of Slapsharks. Oh, and they were making jokes at dinner, I think on Saturday, about making a American Slapshark, so it would be ass. Hilarious. Tiago, got a picture of him. That's cool. Met him when he was talking to Josie. And then, okay, this is the problem though, right? So I did this whole thing so I could write people's names and I would remember them. But now I have all these pictures of people I took pictures of, but I didn't have the film, so they couldn't sign it. And so now I still have the problem of needing to figure out what their names are and writing them down. And like, I'm going to have to double check with Tyler. And then he said he was going to tell me the wrong name on purpose, which is not helpful. But I do have a bunch. And then sorry if I didn't ask you for a picture. I'm going to be less shy and better about this next time and bring enough film. I do also need, I think, a bigger album. So that project actually worked out quite okay. And I will be continuing. And then I just need a bigger album. And so I think I'm going to organize it so that the people that I get confused, I'm going to put all on the same page and even like still, I was like, hey, is that Sean or Shane or Dave? And Brian was like, dude, Shane's sitting right there. I was like, oh, I thought that was Dave, but it's not. So yeah, I need to work on that. That's on me. But because DLC is over, I now have time to work on mats, which I'm very excited about. I am working on setting up the online shop. And I decided it's going to be the 3 tiers of mats are going to be epic, enchanted, and iconic. And then what else? Oh, I'm going to be doing... So Tyler is going to some Riftbound thing in Vegas. So I'm going to be foiling some Riftbound mats for him, kind of as like a advertisement, I guess, for the shop. So I also have to set up the shop before he goes to that tournament. And so that you will be able to buy stuff on the shop because a lot of people, so Tyler brought his Maleficent mat, the set champ one that I did for him, and then I brought like my Gen Con mat, and definitely people were asking about how to buy these mats. So the goal now is to set up the store and do that. I have to do all the like product photography / video stuff to get that all set up. And then I also, while I was at the airport, figured out how to fix this issue that I've been having where like I'll import an image into Procreate and it will be like not high quality enough. And so it's like pixely. So then when I do my layers, they also look pixely and I don't want it to be pixely. I want better definition. I figured out how to fix that. So now I feel like I need to redo the design for all the mats that I did in the past. So that's a lot of work, but that is the plan. So stay tuned. That is coming quite soon, in the next month or so. That will be up and going, and I'm literally going to do nothing else until then. I guess I'm technically playing in some set champs, but I'm not exactly practicing for them. Oh, and then this other stuff we got from, what did we buy with our tickets? So let's see. Brian and I both got Mulan promos for getting 3 wins in the main event. And then I ended up just buying, and then these are our Pegasus that we got for participating in the main event. They are bent. They're actually a little bit better because I set them under my like duck box and stuff to kind of try to smush it. And then with our tickets, because we got the mats already last time, I got the like non-foil versions of some of the cards. So a Pegasus, a Simba, and a Let It Go. We also got the Elsa pin, which I don't know where I put it. It's in a bag somewhere from the event. And then I think we sold some of our tickets to friends. So I think the next DLC, we're going to try to finish the non-foil promo cards. And make day 2, making day 2 would also help a lot with being able to finish the cards because we would get 10,000 tickets. So that is kind of it. What's coming up for us, I'm probably going to play in a set champ on Saturday, undecided which one yet. And then we're both playing in a set champ on Sunday. Although I'm working Sunday night, so I may have to like leave early, even if I do well, which is kind of unfortunate. And then next weekend, we'll probably go to set champs. I think Brian is a little bit over set champs since he already won one. He's kind of like whatever, whereas I haven't, so I want to win my own mat. And then we decided not to go to Ghent, DLC Ghent, even though we did get tickets, because it's kind of expensive to fly to Europe, and like Ghent's not high up on the list of places I want to visit. Instead, we're going to go to DLC Taiwan, which I'm pretty excited about because I love Taiwan. That place is so fun. The last time I went, I think I went with my mom like 7-8 years ago. It was super fun. The food is super good. It's super cheap. And we need to go to Asia anyways to visit my family. So the plan is to go to China first, see my family, and then go to DLC Taiwan. And my mom and my aunt will be there to babysit our daughter. And I think on the trip, we're also going to go to Disneyland Shanghai, since we're going to go to Shanghai anyways. So yeah, pretty excited. Got to plan that trip more. I bought tickets to Shanghai, but that's the only airplane ticket I bought so far. So we still need to buy a bunch more. But that's going to be the next big one. The draw of Taiwan is that it was going to be best of 3, so not best of 1, and also like English cards. And it'll be set 11, so winter spell. And so we don't have to get like new cards. We don't have to get like Chinese cards, like if we were to play in China, which is pretty exciting. And then yes, the next big one. Oh, we are going to be in Disneyland over the Valentine's Day weekend. So hopefully that's when they release their foiled iconic Mickey mini mat. I think that is the one that supposedly comes out in the park. So we'll try to pick up some of those while we're there. And then it'll be DLC Taiwan. And then I think after that, the weekend after that is Glimmer Games in Roseville. So our local CCQ. And I got to make a bunch of mats for that. And then after that, we'll probably go to, we don't have anything planned for April yet. And then in May, there is the Enchanted Citrus Clash in San Diego, which is going to be Infinity. And then after that will be DLC Indianapolis. And then after that will be Gen Con. So a lot of stuff planned. What also kind of throws a wrench in things is that BTS announced their tour dates this past weekend. And there was one I was like, I could go to those in Vegas, but I'm going to be at Enchanted Citrus Clash, so probably won't be able to get those tickets. But hopefully we can get BTS tickets. We'll see. For those of you who don't know, BTS is it's a Korean pop band. And getting BTS tickets, I would say is probably the same as like getting Taylor Swift tickets. You can get tickets early if you are part of the like fan club, which is called the Army. So join that. It's like $22 for membership. And then you can have access to the pre-sale. I have a feeling that all the tickets are going to be sold out to the pre-sale. But I guess if I can't get tickets, at least it'll be good practice for trying to get tickets for Indianapolis. Hopefully they increase the cap of people at Indianapolis, because like even for the location we were at in Richmond, it seems like, so they had 2 rooms, one for the side events, like the on-demand events, and one for the side events and the main event. And I feel like they could have run more stuff. Like they could have moved maybe the side events into the other room and then just run a bigger main event. Because it seems unfair that Europe gets like so many more opportunities for CCQs and stuff compared to North America. And when I say North America, it really is just US, because Canada doesn't have anything. Mexico doesn't have anything. So it's really just US. It's not even North America. It's kind of not fair. We just want to be able to play more Lorcana. Okay, Ravensburger? Yeah, so that's what is upcoming, a pretty packed schedule. When I do open the store, I will make a video here announcing it. And that is it for me. Let me know how well you did at DLC Richmond. Oh, I forgot about something. Somebody did get DQ'd at DLC Richmond for cheating. I forgot about all the tea I was going to talk about. Okay, so on day 1 of the DLC, and Andrew Graham, I believe that is his name, got DQ'd because he cheated on stream. Like, seriously, what is wrong with these people? Why would you cheat on stream where there is a video, a multi-angle video, and people can rewind? Way more people are watching you than just the judges. Like, why would you do that? This just seems so dumb. Anyways, what happened was, I think he was playing dogs. His opponent played Spooky Sight, put all his characters into the ink, and then he took a card from his inkwell and put it in his hand. That's illegal. And so he got DQ'd for that, as he should. Oh, the other tea I heard, okay, this is in line with like my thing with my super sealed opponent who was super serious during a side event. During the Infinity event, there was somebody who made someone else cry. Okay, so round 1, the opponents sit across from each other. I think it was one person like takes their 7 cards, puts 4 down, and then puts 3 to the side of their deck. They're going to draw 3 more cards, right? Because those are the ones they want to mulligan. Their opponent just calls a judge. Like, doesn't say why they're calling a judge. It's just like, judge. And I've heard this story from multiple people. So they call a judge, doesn't even tell the opponent why they're calling the judge. And then when the judge comes, it's basically like, my opponent is a cheater, and my opponent like took 3 cards and is like deciding which of the 3 that they're going to keep in their hand, like the 3 new ones or the 3 old ones or something. And basically just kept calling the opponent a cheater and accusing them of cheating. And the opponent is like trying to explain, like, no, I like am keeping the 4 and then I put these 4 over here and I'm drawing 4, like trying to explain how they're mulliganing, which is like, I mean, technically by the rules, you're supposed to put the ones you don't want on the bottom of your deck and then draw the whatever. But like, nobody does that. Also, this is a side event. This is not even the main thing. And like, even in the main thing, I've never seen anybody call a judge because their opponent didn't put the 3 cards on the bottom and then draw 3 from the top, because literally nobody does that. And also no one cares. So the person was able to upset the opponent so much that they just scooped up their cards and was like, I don't want to play. I concede. Which is just so unfortunate. Like, why are you being a dick? 2, why are you ruining someone's experience so bad that this happens? Also over like a non thing. Like, this is such a small, like, 1, it's a side event. 2, like, it doesn't even matter. Like, so what if they keep the original 3 from their mulligan? Like, do you really think it's gonna like change the whole game that much? Oh, it's just so dumb. Anyways, I think that's all is that all the drama I heard? Those were the 2 big drama things that I did want to talk about. Guys, don't be dicks. Just be nice. This is a children's game. You have to remember that. Don't be so serious, especially when it's not even the serious part. Like, I understand if this is like the main event and you're like trying to make day 2, you're trying to win a golden Mickey, like, it's serious. You want people to play to the rules. But like, you're playing in a side event and it's not even a big thing. Whatever. Anyways, kind of weird to end on the drama. So yeah. So that is like all the big drama I heard. I'm sure there was also more little drama. There always is. Oh, congrats to Fungus for winning. That green-blue, the fact that finals was the green-blue mirror. So they had started finals already when we went to dinner. We went, had dinner, and like we had to walk to dinner. We walked back to the hotel. We get to the hotel. We're like chilling for a little bit. And then we're like, oh, let's pull up and see if there's a result yet. And the finals is still going on. It took so long. And like we even went to the lounge to get more like free drinks and stuff. And before we went back to our room. And so that finals took so long. And I feel like kudos to those two guys because they were playing the whole day because they had to play their way into getting to the top cut and then play the top cut and then play in the finals. Like my brain 100% would be fried. And I feel like this time, okay, so I know in past DLCs I've talked about how I get tired by like round 5. This time I did actually feel okay. Like I didn't feel like I was losing my focus during the day. I think one was because some of my matches went really, really fast. So I had time to like stretch, get more water, all that stuff. And then also because Dogs is such a like mentally stimulating deck to play because you have to think about so many things and so many turns ahead. I think that kept my interest. And so this time I didn't feel tired. Like by the end of the last round, like when we played the last round, I still felt like good, like fresh, like not mentally exhausted. So I think my mental stamina has gone up a bit. My physical stamina, who knows? I do feel out of shape. I am taking like way more dance classes now that I have free time. So hopefully that'll also help me have more stamina to play longer and better. But yeah, it was a great time. If you can go to a future DLC, I definitely recommend it. Even if you don't do well, like it's still just fun to hang out with people and like you get to meet like lorcana famous people and everyone's super nice. I literally was like, hey, can I take a picture of you? And some people were like, are you stealing my soul? And I was like, no, I just need to get better at names and stop describing people as, you know, that nerdy white guy with a beard, plus or minus glasses, because that's everybody. Or that like, you know, that like Asian guy, it's like medium height, everybody literally. And so everyone was super nice. And I did see people like going up to like DKP and asking to take a picture with him and stuff like that. So yeah, even if you don't do well, you can still just go and have fun, play games. You can play Super Sealed, which isn't available anywhere else. And yeah, that's it for me. I think that's all I have to say. I'm pretty sure this is for real this time. And as always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a whole handful of non-inkables like me. And next week I will talk about how I did this past weekend in Set Champs and hopefully more progress on the store, maybe new mats for you guys to see. And that's me, Q. I'm going to mention my name. Signing off. Remember to, I should probably do those YouTube things, right? Remember to like and subscribe and tell your friends about the podcast. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about. And that's it. All right. Bye.